As everyone knows, Bill is leaving, and so is Clara, which is even a more important loss to us. Our divisional plastic surgeon. Our divisional plastic surgeon is much more. She has a skill set that none of us have. So Clara and Bill are going to I have a full-time job. Clara Lee and Bill are both leaving and going to Ohio State. We're really pleased for them, although it's a big loss for us. Big loss. Big loss for us. Big loss for us. Do you want to add?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's a big loss for us. Bill, in his time here, has been a wonderful colleague and friend for Epi, and you'll say a few words in a second, and for medicine. He's done virtually everything that one could do in the faculty teaching services and research. He's had massive numbers of students, massive amounts of collaboration. And it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. Andy, do you want to add anything?
Sure.
Profound statement.
I wasn't going to yield my time to you. You said far less than I thought you would. So
there's more.
It's
That's my
most
opening.
of my comment.
It's my opening.
But as part of the big loss of Bill, one of those bigs is for the Department of Epidemiology, where he's been just an exceptional, good citizen, has taken on every responsibility we asked him to do it, and he was always smiling. He always made me worried there was like he was going to blow it any time.
And I did. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It is a dark side.
So he not only taught a number of classes, he mentored a huge number of doctoral master's students, served on the admissions committee, and for our ID EPI program, which is closely connected with the School of Medicine and just the department in general. Both his substantive contributions and his just being a great guy factor is a real loss for all of our faculty, staff, and students. And I'm still doing a forensic. I've been 3 months now trying to untangle all the things that you were leaving and figure out how we're going to solve them, and I'm only sort of partway through, but it really shows what an imprint Bill had on our training program and our research program. And you'll be tremendously missed, and wish you all the best at the Ohio State. You got to practice saying the Ohio State.
Bill, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, if I could.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say publicly what I said to Bill a moment ago, and that is what a loss it is to us as an institution, not just the medical school, but I presume to speak on behalf of Barbara Reimer, the Dean of Public Health, because she and we work together to try to keep the two of you here. And your loss, both Clara and Bill, is a major loss to us. But we face these occasions sometimes, I hope not very often, but where people have major new opportunities at another institution, and in the midst of our kicking the waste can in frustration, we have to say congratulations. It's much the same thing as when Marshall Runge told me he was going to go off to Michigan and lead their whole institution in medicine. About all I could say is congratulations. Though his leaving was a loss, and years ago, some of you may remember Pierre Buchan's was the chair of maternal child health, School of Public Health, and he was given the position of dean of Tulane School of Public Health, and he came to see me about it, and I said, Pierre, there's only one thing I can say, and that's congratulations. I say that to the both of you, and further I would just say, Bill, I remember fondly all of our interactions over the years. You've been a great resource to the institution, but you've helped me personally a lot, and I'm grateful for that. And Clara, I would say I remember fondly the first time you and I met. It must have been about a dozen years ago, soon after I started this job, when Tony Meyer asked if I would meet with you and tell you what a great place this is. Thank you for coming, and we wish you.
Thank you for coming.
We wish you the both well.
Is Irving still here? Where's Irving?
Irving,
you and Bill have gone on more trips together than you and your wife have gone together. I'm 100% sure you've gone more miles with Bill Miller than you have with Sarah. And I'm sure Bill has traveled more with Irving than Clara. That's got to be true. You want to say anything, Irving, about Bill's travel?
It started in North Carolina, going on a junket around the state to many health departments. and we slept in the car in the middle of the day under the trees in Kinston, completely exhausted. And that has gone, you know, to Malawi and in Asia now, and Ukraine, and we've had a good time. I continue to. The biggest problem with Bill is he doesn't drink. and he won't sing karaoke. Other than that, and he has a wicked slice on his. Other than that, he's perfect.
Now, you've got a lot of students, so I won't pick on anybody in particular, although I know they're very articulate. I'm looking at Sarah and Kathy. Does anybody of any of the students want to say anything before we allow Bill to talk? Kathy?
Well, I have nothing prepared.
Neither did I.
No, I mean, I think it's summed up easily by saying thank you. Affected us all.
Anyone else? Gail, do you want to say anything? Okay.
You always speak for me.
Thank you. Anyone else want to say anything?
I mean, I guess I just want to say on behalf of the ID fellows, I feel like even though Bill wasn't, you know, any of our primary mentors, a lot of us, he had an imprint on every single ID fellow. I know every single fellow that comes, we always said, oh, you need to talk to Bill. You need to take his class. And I think every fellow interacted with him.
I would like to say also that it is a huge loss in the general field of STDs, which has been a great strength around here for a long time. And Bill is a worldwide gem in this particular field, and leads the oldest training ground in the country. And so his loss is big in that small domain as well. And Clara, we're sorry to see you go. I'm sorry we haven't had more time. We talked about doing things and looking at Inuit art and doing some things. It's not too late. But you guys are great, and we're really sorry to see you go, but we're happy for you.
Other, Gail, you know, I have comments?
Right now, I don't know it's about Clara, though. I've had the privilege of being, well, I know, but I think everything about you he's proud of, and justly. I had a privilege of being on advisory committee for Clara's spectacular grant, and looking at what happens when people make a decision about breast reconstruction or not. And I didn't really know you very well then, except I knew that you had some ID parties. And you have such a strong future in research, and you make such a contribution to the health of women, and I just congratulate you myself.
Any other comments? Going once? Okay, Bill, your turn.
I'll just say thank you. Even though ID and FE are not really my homes, they feel like they are. It's been a really nice community to be a part of, so thank you.
Bill? Let's see if we can do thank you, Claire. Now, Bill is long-winded.
Long-winded is not my forte. So, first of all, this is pretty amazing that y'all are here. I really appreciate it. As Andy was describing a little bit, I don't think there's any one person other than me, pretty much, that knew all the places that I was in. And as a result, there's people from all the little bits of my job that I accumulated over the years that kept growing over time. And I keep telling people that who are worried about what I'll do as a chair, that I'm actually going to have less to do than I do now, because I only have one division and it's not very big, and I'll be able to do my research and mostly mentor junior faculty, which is a large part of the reason why I decided to go there. That coupled with PERT offer is amazing.
They're rich.
The good news in the STD world is that Columbus has a whole bunch of STDs.
Congratulations!
So I'm going from one STD heartland to another. The other good news is that there's a substantial number of UNC graduates who are there, including one of my former students who's doing STD work already. So we already have written a grant together that went in last week. And so, with those kinds of collaborations are ongoing. A lot of people are worried about, am I going to be around, and are we going to work together, that sort of thing. And the answer is I entirely intend to maintain collaborations and work in Malawi and Vietnam and those kinds of things going forward. Ukraine, I'm not leaving Ukraine. And I think the most important thing I can say is really thank you to all of you, because I wouldn't have had this opportunity in my career without all of you, because this institution is one where it's really easy to just knock on someone's door and get help or advice or give advice, which I have a tendency to probably do more than I should, but and that's what that, coupled with Mike having provided lots of opportunities along the way, has allowed me to grow into the position that I'm in now, and I don't take any of that lightly, and I really do appreciate everyone here, and thank you for coming.
I'll tell one story about, and Andy remembers
Any
this.
story you want.
There's so many stories about Bill, but Bill really does everything so well. I mean, but I think it's fair to say, like, some people have a special passion for basic science. Bill has a special passion for teaching science, unequivocally, and doing it in a way that the students find compelling. There's no student, to my knowledge, there are 33 PhD students in 36 committees beyond those 33. That's a massive amount of teaching by any stretch of the imagination. I doubt if anyone has that load. And he did it so gracefully and wonderfully. And at one point when David Savitz was chair a few years before Andy, we were fighting about salary. We're always fighting about money.
They're still fighting.
We're
about
still,
money.
and so I said, look, I said, David, you have to pay this money. I'm like, this is it. This is my ultimatum. I'm going to stop Bill from teaching. And so there was this clause and said, Bill will pay me to teach. And he was right. And so I said, you know what, you're right. And I gave up. I think Bill's special passion for teaching is and he won the teaching award for the university, as many of you know. I think that is unbelievably unique and treasured, and I think Ohio State's incredibly lucky to get you in that role. I mean, you're a great physician, you're a great scientist, but as a compelling teacher, you're truly remarkable. And we're going to
Not so much the physician.
Pinehurst, man, you and me, Pinehurst. So let's have a round of applause for Bill. We'll sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny.